Time for CBX Business News. The Business News headlines is brought to you by QMX Wealth Management, making more possible.
$152 million Jamaican dollars mobilized. Gas stocks align and drug pricing giants face scrutiny. Good evening and welcome to CBX Business News for Monday, February 16, 2026. I'm Rachelle Moncrief. Thanks for joining us. Coming up, Sagicor Sigma Run 2026 raises 152 million Jamaican dollars, reinforcing the role of corporate philanthropy as a capital engine for investment. Also ahead, Trinidad and Tobago's energy strategy gains momentum as U.S. general licenses align with a bid from BP, advancing cross-border gas development. And later, U.S. PBMs face potential breakup risk as lawmakers question the 80% market control, intensifying the drug pricing showdown. Stay with us as we unpack these stories and more right after the break.
I'm trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
I'm also trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
Start a conversation with the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Check jamstockx.com for information and a list of registered stockbrokers. You can also call the Jamaica Stock Exchange at 876-967-3271 for information on how to begin. I am achieving my financial goals.
I'm achieving my financial goals.
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't never, ever, ever wanna calm down. Oh, no, no. Yeah, yeah.
The local news is brought to you by Darriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments.
Welcome back to CBX Business News. We begin with the 2026 staging of the Sagicor Sigma Run. This evening, following the historic 152 million Jamaican dollars raised from the 28th staging of the Sagicor Sigma Run for Western schools, CBX Business News is examining the financial architecture behind the fundraiser. The Sigma Run is not a one-off donation drive. Since its inception, the event has cumulatively raised more than $878 million for health, education, and child-focused institutions. But beyond the annual check presentation lies a recurring model that mobilizes capital through layered revenue streams. We asked Sagicor Group Jamaica's communications manager, Javon Keys, to break down the financial structure behind the event.
We are so pleased that we were able to raise $152,010,736, therefore exceeding our target. We also exceeded the number of registrants for this year getting to just about 31,000 persons registered for the run. As it relates to revenue streams behind Sagicor's Sigma Run, every dollar that comes in for registration, as well as the various lead-up events, including our Sagicor Sigma Run pop-up shop, t-shirt sales, along with other activities geared towards raising funds like Market on the Terrace, and we also had a brunch event. Every single dollar from that is what funds the raise for the target, along with donations from corporate citizens here in Jamaica as well as in the diaspora.
We also asked whether the Sigma Run forms part of Sagicor's broader strategic or ESG positioning.
There is no money that comes in for the Sagicor Sigma Run that goes into funding any activities for Sagicor. So it is not a revenue earning run for the group. It is fully philanthropic. So every dollar that comes in for registration and anything at all related to Sigma Run goes directly to the value, the dollar value that's being raised for beneficiaries. It therefore means that Sagicor actually foots the bill for executing the run every single year, and it fits squarely into a broader ESG and corporate social responsibility strategy, because for us, we're big on community, and we're big on building Jamaica and building the communities we serve broadly. That's a part of our core mission. So it's an important part of what we do every single year.
That was Sagicor Group Jamaica's communications manager, Javon Keys. Staying in corporate news, but shifting to the financial sector. NCB Financial Group, NCBFG, is reporting record earnings, but shareholder frustration over dividends is intensifying. The financial conglomerate posted a 71% jump in net profit to $36.9 billion for the year ended September 30, 2025. Yet, despite that performance, investors pressed management over why dividends remained capped at 50 cents per quarter. At the company's annual general meeting last Friday, Group CEO Robert Almeida defended the dividend policy, arguing that earnings growth does not automatically translate into higher payouts.
I'm trying to point out that the correlation between earnings and dividends is not perfectly linear, because what we started to do there was we actually started to front-end load the payment of dividends, and then earnings grew the subsequent years, and at that point, in the quarter, so what's our use of the free cash flow? As we said, we always use free cash flow for, one, we have earnings that have to get used in the businesses to maintain their increasing capital requirements, IFRS 17, Basel III, and the various increasing in the capital requirements in all of the businesses, so a bunch of it's retained. And secondly, there's the reduction of debt that has to happen because we need to bring down the whole holding company debt. And so our focus right at the beginning was to get to the 50 cents, maintain it at 50 cents a quarter, try and maintain that consistently.
That was NCBFG Group CEO Robert Almeida. Turning now to private sector policy concerns. An estimated 40% of Jamaica's economy operates outside the formal system. A reality business leaders say is constraining growth, productivity, and tax revenue. Speaking during a fireside discussion on Friday, former president of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, Sidney Thwaites, highlighted the scale of the informal sector, describing it as a massive untapped opportunity rather than simply a compliance issue.
It sounds like a small issue, but the estimates in how much of our economy is the underground economy. Underground not meaning it's illegal, but just meaning unregistered companies that are outside of the tax sphere. It's in the 40% of our GDP range. That's a massive number. If you think about what that would do for the tax base, if you think of now our GDP in terms of our GDP per capita now is right about 7,200. You add 40% on top of that, all of a sudden you're at 11,000. It is not an insignificant issue if we can get small businesses and businesses who are on the fringes involved in the system.
That was former JMEA President Sidney Thwaites. Meanwhile, Managing partner for the Caribbean Business Review, Joseph Cox, has revealed that for every US dollar spent in Jamaica's tourism sector, approximately 40 cents remains in the local economy. The rest, he says, leaks abroad through imported goods, foreign ownership structures, and repatriated profits. Speaking during a recent seminar, Cox says this leakage is one of the clearest signs that Jamaica must strengthen domestic value chains.
In terms of tourism, part of the challenge and part of the dynamic that we face is that there is significant leakage. 40.8 cents out of the US dollar is what we retain from every tourism dollar. That means 60% of it is going.
He says Jamaica is not alone in facing value retention challenges within its tourism sector.
In the Bahamas, it's 25%. It's 25 cents out of every dollar that they get. Antigua and Barbuda, they import 90% of the foods that they use in the tourism industry. 90%. What that means? Thin value chains, right? On the market not responsive to the demands.
That was managing partner for the Caribbean Business Review, Joseph Cox. We move to the latest updates from the JSE equities. In Monday's trading session, the JSE market activity resulted in the trading of 122 stocks, of which 49 advanced, 54 declined, and 19 traded firm. Leading today's winners are CAC 2000, Medical Disposables and Supplies, MPC Caribbean Clean Energy USD, and Margaritaville Turks USD. While leading the losers are Mayberry Jamaican Equities, Cygnus Real Estate Finance USD, Epley Caribbean Property Fund SCC, and G West Corporation Ordinary Shares. The main index advanced by 1,041.96 points to close at 341,829.27 points. The junior market index advanced by 22.69 points to close at 3,315.53 points.
And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by CariCris, Regional Ratings, Global Standard.
In today's market education feature, we're defining the term rebate. A rebate is a refund or credit given to a customer after a purchase has been completed. Unlike an upfront discount, which reduces the price immediately, a rebate is usually claimed after the sale and may require additional steps or conditions. In financial markets, rebates can also appear in short selling, where short sellers compensate stock lenders for a portion of interest or dividends.
And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by CariCris, Regional Ratings, Global Standard.
And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is up next.
The local news is brought to you by Diamond Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
FESCO started from 5 shareholders who believed that they could execute a fuel company as good as or as better than any multinational. The director shareholders always believed that the dealers within our network should be owners of the company. They believe that staff should be owners of the company. And specifically also believe that the public should become shareholders. That cannot be facilitated by a bank loan. Our experience so far has translated into additional customers. Our transparency has allowed us to access credit easier and at better rates. So if you're a private company thinking about growing your profits, having better access to capital, I really think you should consider listing on the junior or the main market. Go ahead, have that conversation as soon as possible. We did it and we're very happy.
Welcome back. And now for the regional business news. Trinidad and Tobago's energy sector may have just gained a critical lifeline. The country has been issued 2 United States general licenses establishing a legal framework for specific oil and gas activities with Venezuela, a move that could help ease domestic gas shortages and reignite cross-border energy investment. Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa says the licenses create an opportunity to strengthen energy cooperation, protect jobs, and reinforce Trinidad and Tobago's position as a responsible Caribbean energy hub. The development comes as BP seeks a separate U.S. license to advance the Manakin-Coquina gas field, a cross-border reservoir estimated to hold more than 1 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. BP plans to route any produced gas to Trinidad for processing at its Atlantic LNG facilities, where it holds a 45% stake, a potential boost for export capacity and petrochemical output. However, final development still requires approval from the U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, given ongoing sanctions against Venezuela's state-owned energy company. If fully authorized, the licenses could unlock billions in energy investment, stabilize gas supply, and strengthen Trinidad and Tobago's long-term energy competitiveness. Region 7, Bartica, is fast emerging as one of Guyana's most critical economic powerhouses. Speaking on his Tea on the Terrace podcast recently, President Dr. Irfan Ali says the region accounted for 41% of the country's total gold production in 2025.
Now, Region 7 contributed 41% of all our gold production in 2025. Now, what does this mean? And I'm only going to look at the small and medium-sized miners as an example, because many times we speak about small and medium-sized miners. The small and medium-sized miners would have declared in from Region 7 105,400 plus ounces of gold. What that equates to is $88 billion of revenue.
According to President Ali, the production surge reflects the strength of Guyana's small and medium-scale mining ecosystem.
What this means? This means that the small and medium-sized enterprises are small and medium-sized miners, which is about 1,100 plus small miners and about 190 plus medium-scale miners. They will have employed directly and indirectly more than 20,000 persons. They would have created opportunities for a major number of sectors: entertainment, restaurants, hotels, transportation, mechanical engineering services, banking, finance, insurance, machinery. All of those things are critically integrated.
That was President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali. Meanwhile, Grenada is converting investment migration capital into hard tourism assets, approving a new 70-room development under its Citizenship by Investment framework. The One True Blue Beach Hotel and Residences will rise in True Blue Bay, expanding upscale room stock through a hybrid model of hotel suites and branded residences. Government data show the CBI program generated approximately 500 million Eastern Caribbean dollars in 2024. Funds that have become a critical financing pipeline for real estate, infrastructure, and hospitality projects. This is more than a hotel approval. It is a clear signal that Grenada is using investment-based citizenship as a capital stack, channeling foreign funds into revenue-generating tourism assets rather than short-term budget support. Strategically located near Maurice Bishop International Airport and major tourism corridors, the project is expected to create construction and permanent hospitality jobs, expand foreign direct investment inflows, increase high-value visitor spend, and deepen property-based wealth creation, with global demand rising for boutique and eco-luxury destinations. Grenada is positioning its CBI program not just as a revenue tool, but as a strategic engine for sustained tourism growth. And there was no trading activity on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, TTSE, today, as the exchange closed for Carnival Monday. February 16 marks the start of the peak Carnival celebrations in TNT, and while it is not classified as a standard banking holiday, the TTSE formally lists both Carnival Monday and Tuesday as non-trading days on its annual calendar. The market is scheduled to reopen on Thursday when regular trading and settlement activities resume. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is up next.
Okay, I just sent the money. I'll WhatsApp you the tracking number.
Thanks, Daddy. I can't wait to buy that PS5.
Listen to me. Your birthday money is not just for spending. Remember what I told your mom? Remember to open the bank account immediately after collecting the money. Your mom has her ID, TRN, proof of address, proof of income, and your school ID.
I'm not an adult yet, so Mommy will have to open the account with me.
Yes. Anyways, I'm headed back to work, so call me later. I love you guys.
This financial literacy tip is brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, promoting financial inclusion. For more information, visit our BOJ Real Talk playlist on our YouTube channel.
Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. What you put in is what you get out. What you put in is what you get out. Yeah. Build up your body, boost up your brain. Take on the world now. Say bye-bye pain. Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. Be good to you. Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. Distributed by Amalgamated Distributors Limited.
Welcome back. In international news, a high-stakes power struggle over who controls America's drug dollars is now moving from industry boardrooms to Congress, and the financial implications could be enormous. In a heated Energy and Commerce Subcommittee hearing, lawmakers openly questioned whether the three largest pharmacy benefit managers, PBM, which process nearly 80% of U.S. prescriptions, wield excessive market power. However, CEO of the Pharmaceutical Care Management Association, David Marin, pushed back strongly against claims of dominance, arguing the industry remains competitive.
Ours is a highly competitive market, Chairman. There are 73 full-service PBMs, all different shapes and sizes, different geographic footprints, different service offerings, different focus.
But you don't deny that 80% is controlled by three companies.
We see the small players taking business from the big players all the time.
Still, Chairman Morgan Griffith pressed further, raising concerns about the rebate model that underpins PBM revenue. Marin pushed back, calling that scenario rare and maintaining that PBMs negotiate lower prices overall, saving billions of dollars annually.
You know, here's the bottom line is we negotiate lower prices and provide significant value. We saved $333 billion.
So how do you explain when West Virginia decides to set up their own PBM, get out of the big ones, that they save 6% right off the top?
I think more competition is better.
That was CEO of the Pharmaceutical Care Management Association, David Marin. From regulatory pressure in Washington, we move to shifting bond markets in Europe. Germany's 10-year bond yield fell below 2.75%, marking its lowest level since December 3, following its steepest weekly decline since April. The drop was driven by heightened safe haven demand and expectations that weaker U.S. economic data could give the Federal Reserve room to consider interest rate cuts. Investors are now turning their attention to the Fed's meeting minutes on Wednesday for further insight into future policy. In the Eurozone, markets evaluated signals that the European Central Bank remains generally comfortable with the euro's recent gains. Focus also shifted to reports that Bank of France Governor Francois Villeroy de Galhau, regarded as a dovish voice within the ECB, might step down sooner than expected. ECB President Christine Lagarde last week noted that the inflation outlook is in a good place. While downplaying concerns over the euro's strength, money markets currently assign only a 30% probability of an ECB rate cut by December. And from European bond markets, we go to Latin American trade. Ecuadorian shrimp exports saw a 20% increase year-on-year in 2025. This was driven mainly by a record temporary boost from higher U.S. tariffs and a steady sector investment the country has seen in recent years, said the head of the Aquaculture Industry Association. Shrimp was the top exporter for the country last year, dethroning oil, the sector in which the nation placed most of its focus. According to the government, shrimp totaled about $7 billion. The U.S. tariffs imposed on India by the Trump administration, the United States' largest shrimp supplier, helped boost Ecuador's sales as it faced a lower tariff rate, says President of Ecuador's Aquaculture Chamber, Jose Antonio Campesano. Campesano says China remains the country's main shrimp market, buying around 48% of its exports in spite of this massive increase. The sector is looking to further broaden their reach in the world, working to maintain sales in the US, the EU, and is expanding to the Japanese market. And that's it for the international segment of the newscast. The news recap is coming up on the other side of the break.
Serious about building Jamaica? Build with solid PVC pipes and conduits, manufactured in Jamaica by Phosphate, made to the highest standard. Solid PVC pipes and conduits are made in Jamaica by Jamaicans for Jamaicans. Available at hardware stores across the island. Take some solid advice, support our economy, and build well. Buy solid PVC pipes. Next time, ask for solid brand PVC pipes and conduits. Call our distributors or Phosphate at 876-937-5099.
And now to recap our top stories. In the local news, Sagicor Sigma Run 2026 raises $152 million, philanthropy highlighted as an economic engine. Regionally, TNT Energy push gains momentum as U.S. licenses and BP bid align. And internationally, PBMs face breakup risk in drug pricing showdown, 80% market share questioned. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rachelle Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Alexia Beckford. You're watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.